Encounters with great white sharks that will terrify you. The great white shark is the only one in the ocean that is capable of terrorizing people. They have a pretty dreadful reputation due to their mouth being lined with hundreds of dagger-like fangs. They can and will support it. It seems inevitable that you will come face to face with the monster of the depths. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. A person's greatest nightmare, but these unintentional encounters demonstrated that it is not impossible. Not only that, but it terrified those directly affected and would do the same to anyone else. Also you. Here are our top 9 great white shark experiences that will leave you breathless. You will be completely terrified, with number 1 stalking your dreams tonight. Let's get started. Number 9. Francis, Johan, and other freedivers. In 2015, Renee and Eric went spearfishing in Arniston, Cape Town, South Africa. Confronted with a surprise. With spear guns and a GoPro in hand, Johan, Francis, and Eric dove into the dark waters, to their heads attached. Johan reached the bottom and started to look around, only to be shocked by an inquisitive. A large, hostile great white shark was only a few arms' length away. The shark switched to attack mode and circled around once more. Fortunately, Johan was able to repel the hungry hunter's repeated attempts with his spear gun. While sprinting to the surface to signal the boat, the sea champion. As shown in the video, he kept yelling white and continuously yelled for his pals. Everyone was able to leave the building without incident and swiftly. After that close call, the crew laughed a lot and let out a great sigh of relief. Lucky is really understating it in this case. Number 8. In 2016, this YouTuber enthralled millions of viewers. He posted a video to YouTube with the title "Sydney Harbor Man Fights Off Shark." Due of its popularity, that location, it sparked conversation. The diver puts on a GoPro and maneuvers into position at the beginning of the film, preparing to jump off the precipice on the opposite side of the fence. And as soon as he does, a shark immediately sees him. You can hear his friend shouting "shark" and pointing from the shore once he comes to the surface. Revealed its location to him. The shark appears out of nowhere as he turns to look in the direction his companion is pointing, and leans in for a closer look, shocking him beyond belief. The great white shark makes a mad dash towards the shelter of the rocks. A second pass is attempted at a closer range, but the diver successfully foils its attempts by kicking and swiping at it. Just enough time was given for him to make it to solid ground. Although the video's veracity has been questioned, we lack the expertise to determine if it was altered or not. We do know that there is a 20% possibility of sighting a shark near to the shore, according to experts. Our diver jumped into the ocean from a manly cliff. The video therefore has all the necessary credibility thanks to that probability. Joe Petrovich, number 7, was off on another fishing trip with some buddies in the waters off Australia. Without realizing it, Joe went down to look for fish while carrying a spear rifle. Would in all likelihood save his life. Joe ventured around 300 meters from the boat in search of some pink snappers. Eventually came into contact with a great white shark. No matter how many times you dive into the ocean, your heart will still race. Mouth as soon as you spot a shark. The huge predator was assessing Joe's location and determining how to approach. However, Joe was prepared for it. He shot the shark in the head with his spear rifle as it attempted to approach him. The act of biting. The shark circled after his initial effort was unsuccessful and came in for a second attempt, but Joe was determined to live and was able to repel it once more. The great white retreated and repeatedly around him in an effort to get inside. When the shark finally disappears, Joe is free to return to the safety of the boat. Number 6 shark diving cages were used by divers who hoped to a big shark expedition was captured on camera in the Mexican waters off Guadalupe Island. However, they captured more than just the great white shark's elegant appearance, they also captured the moment. One of them nearly ended up as shark bait. When it abruptly changed direction, a big shark aggressively approached the cages and slammed against one of the cage's bars with great force. It remained motionless for a short while, peering at the diver as if to say, "You're lucky I can't enter that." When the diver later reflects, he claims that he might have been in danger if the shark attacked from a different direction. Wide gaps could be seen throughout the cage, large enough for a powerful blow like that have damaged several things. The latter, however, prevented the beast from poking its head inside, as it must have rudely shocked it more than it intended, prompting it to spin back and vanish into the ocean beneath Guadalupe Island. Number 5 This diver was ecstatic when he convinced the shark from snatching him up. In the Gulf, Grayson Shepard and a few friends were searching for lionfish southwest of Florida's St. George Island. Grayson made his third and last solo dive into the water, spearing lionfish and a small group of fish around a man-made structure at 93 feet deep. As he was finishing up and making his way to the surface to execute his safety stop, Grayson noticed a big white shark, but it had already passed by when he saw it. There would be another round. He stopped 15 feet up, recocked his spear gun, and examined the hazy waters in order to start his safety stop from the surface. The shark then reappears in his field of vision and swims directly toward him. In order to avoid arousing the predator/prey instinct, Grayson held his ground and pointed as ready to repel the shark. I aimed my spear gun at it. Fortunately for him, the great white turned, allowing him to see its incredible length in its entirety. Back into the muddy waters, disappearing. Grayson jumped back after deciding to abandon the final few minutes of his safety stop, believing it would be better to avoid a third encounter with this beast aboard the boat. Number 4 Once more, muddy waters provide a significant concern. These divers were filming themselves as they searched for abalone in the deep waters when something unexpected occurred. It was challenging to spot the approaching great white until it appeared, since the seas were so hazy, was past due. For this diver's benefit, the shark probably drove by and only grazed the back of his head. I was simply interested in learning more about the neoprene-covered beast. The diver didn't know what had just hit him, but I believe he did once he realized what occurred. Felt thankful for receiving simply a tap on the head from this big shark. Divers were spotted off the coast of Tofo, Mozambique. Number 3 They were shooting their underwater excursion when one of them spotted a huge white shark. They approach and begin to get circled. They observed the shark leisurely circle them and approach a few of the divers. The shark appeared intrigued about what they were, but was uninterested in eating them. They were in place of. The divers maintained their composure as they watched the amazing occurrence take place in front of them before the shark continued its journey. The divers said it was their best dive ever and only the universe is to blame. That shark's primary motivation was curiosity. The shark could have eaten the unusual too if it had truly wanted to. It has never seen fish with legs before. Number 2 Brandon is committed to filming with his team. Sharks. On this specific excursion, they used a plexiglass shield to enter a shark risk zone directly. To encourage the sharks to interact more, put a front on one of the cages. After jumping into the cage, Brandon dove into the water. He soon finds himself encircled by great whites before you realize it. Although Brandon is secure in the cage, the sharks are merely aggravated by this. One, 18 feet long, constantly approaches the cage and becomes increasingly bold over time, before turning on the float that was fastened to the cage. Unimaginable danger awaits Brandon as a result of the attack on the float tank, but to remove him at this time would be equally risky. The sharks finally relaxed long enough for Brandon to flee. The diver was so focused on spearfishing in position number 1 that he did not see a shark coming toward him in the ocean. The diver's vision in the murky, greenish waters is not very clear, and he appears to be struggling. He is working while preoccupied and is suddenly pulled from behind, losing one of his fins. Bitten by a shark who then tore it off. The diver panics when she realizes it's a great white. He dives down to fetch his sole weapon, a spear gun, and right himself as the shark approaches. Launches another assault, but the diver is able to repel it. The diver stabs the beast when it circles back around and fires its shot. He stopped the shark's attack and sent it back into the murky water with his spear gun. Abyss. Before finally locating his fellow divers, our diver swims a considerable distance. Fortunately for him, he gets to survive and recount his experience. One fewer fin. I don't know about you, but after these horrific encounters, I'm hesitant to take any action. Let alone diving in the regions these people were in, into the ocean. No amount in the world could convince me to ever walk in their shoes. You would? Thank you for watching, and we'll speak to you later.